Hi, I just got a video tag question thing from my teacher. I'm studying the Northern Traditions, Norse Pantheon, um, and the question he asked was about arrogance and ego and the interconnectedness of what it is to be in community. He's talking about the runes Gabo and several others. You can listen to his video. I'll link it here in mine. I think you should listen to it. It's got some great questions. But as I was listening to his video, I was struck by my path, my journey. Back in like 2013, I was finishing up a dissertation on, the title was The Interconnectedness of All. And as he was talking about interconnectedness, I was remembering my journey with this path that often is titled enlightenment, or in seeking to be enlightened. And back then, at the culmination of all the masters I had studied and mentors I had worked with and teachers and professors, I thought that ego was kind of a four-letter word, that we were meant to distance ourselves from our personal egos, that was being trapped in cyclical or karmic debts, and so that you should rise above that and seek to stay in observer state and or witness state and watch life and detach, right? Attachment is suffering, according to Buddhist thought and training. So that's what I thought was the point and the goal of our existence, is to be able to stop needing anything, stop wanting anything, detach fully, observe, and that is the point. So a few years after that, and I had been asking several questions about how do we fix the world, right? I thought it was broken then. I had no clue what was coming, right? And as I had been pondering and meditating on this for probably a full year, I had a very profound spiritual experience that to me was an epiphany. This moment of understanding that I already understood perfectly and knew how to perfectly be interconnected with all living. That's our natural state between lifetimes, or before we came into this body and this experience. That was our state. If you don't believe in multiple past lives, when we are in flow with what it is to be human, that's our natural state. Even when we're in flow with what it is to be this ego, there is a form of interconnectedness when we don't deny this self, this ego, nor the soul state of interconnectedness that always exists. We exist in duality. We exist on multiple dimensions simultaneously. So the epiphany for me was not that I'm meant to detach from ego. Actually, I'm meant to go all in on ego, not in an unhealthy way where, well, this is my ego, so I can do whatever I want. And if I hurt people, that's supposed to be the experience. I'm not claiming detachment from accountability or responsibility for who we are in this lifetime. No. What I am claiming is the point of this existence is to be ego, to fully experience all of the ego of Lola, what it is to be toxic positive and deny, that I have intrusive thoughts that, oh, I'm going to kidnap your baby because you're turned around backwards in a grocery store and you are going to lose your child. I'll give it back, but maybe you'll stop talking to random people and ignoring the child that's been screaming for 15 minutes if they disappeared from your life for 5 seconds. That part of me is just as valid as the part of me that is capable of unconditional loving another being, no matter who they are or how they've behaved towards me. That's also part of this ego. I have that desire within me too. Both of those parts simultaneously can exist inside of us as humans. We're full of contradictions. We're full of incongruencies within our personality. And that is what we came here to experience, not complete interconnectedness as a state of being in this lifetime, but understanding we are interconnected. And I'm meant to not be perfect. I'm not meant to do all things well. And that is the point of community, And I agree, there is a level of hubris and arrogance that I don't need anyone else. This idea of a self-made man, we know this is a joke. We know it's not true. We're all standing on the shoulders of our ancestors. Let's just start there. I don't have to reinvent every comfort and luxury that I get to have in my life. I'm not starting from scratch at birth, nor were my parents or my grandparents. We all stand on the shoulders of the people who came before us and put in the hard work of being human. So we're not doing this by ourselves. But our modern age has given us this idea that I can do most things by myself. I don't need a chef. I have access to a grocery store. I have access to, modern cooking implements and stoves and ease. I don't have to find and cure wood to cook my food, right? I have a dishwasher. I have a washing machine. I even have a dryer if I want to use it. I can use the wind, or I can use something that will dry it way quicker. I have so many technologies hired in my life, bought and paid for, right, through our monetary system, that I think I can do everything myself, that I'm independent. I don't need anyone. That is arrogant. It is hubris. Where we're meant to be bad at some things and maybe even great at others, or maybe just okay at a lot of things. That is the point of this existence, not perfection. That means we're done. Something's finished, it's complete, and there's no more point to living. We're not meant to detach and watch life. That is not participating. That's not living. That's observing. They're not the same thing. And to be truly interconnected with all living is to be our egoic self and feel the role that we came here to participate and fill. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying it's always easy or that it even looks right. I remember days as a mom feeling totally isolated in this, people talk about the rat race of going to work. I felt that as a mom on some days of how many times am I going to mop this floor or do these dishes or wash this outfit? I think it's the third time today. Stop throwing up, please. I'm so sorry you're sick. And I'm one person. And I can't be everything to another human being. But as a parent, that's something we attempt to do. We attempt to meet every need that our children have. It's not possible. And when we can't achieve that, we feel like a failure. Instead of accepting our interconnectedness, instead of saying, it takes a village to raise a child because I cannot possibly meet in a meaningful way another human being's every need, which is what we attempt to do as parents, right? So this notion of, instead of sitting in independent arrogance, accepting the interconnectedness of us as human beings and us as a living being on a planet that is alive with plants that feel and communicate if we just listen, and animals that are so intelligent. I can't speak another species' language, yet my cats understand English. Who's more intelligent? We are not independent. We are interdependent in the best ways. And when we be ourselves, even the ugly parts, even the parts we want to deny, even the arrogant parts that think we can do it all ourselves, so that we can learn, actually, no, I can't. No, I need other people. Even if it's just to feel love or feel like I matter to someone else. I can't give myself that. There's no way for me to give myself the feeling of mattering to someone else. And that's one of the most basic human needs, to be important to others, to matter to other people. So I really liked his video. I really liked the questions he poses, and he related it to, what's happening in our world today, this seeming chaos that we're under. And just like we're meant to be our full selves, our egoic, messy selves, we're also meant to recognize that life is ever changing and destruction is part of creation. The seed breaks itself apart. The shell crumbles. It's it's very violent actually for a tree to grow or a plant to grow or a mammal to be birthed or a bird to hatch. It's not a clean process. They break apart the shell. Life is meant to be a little messy. Life is meant to be chaotic. That's how we get the most experience, which is what we're here to have. We're meant to experience what it feels like to really want something as this ego, what it feels like to be loved as this ego, this not perfect, messy human. Because we know what it feels like to be loved unconditionally when we are out of ego, to be part of all that is in a deep, real way. And we have moments of remembering that in this experience of life. But that's not the state of being. The state of being is ego. And it's meant to be ego. All right, check out his video and let me know your thoughts on mine and his thoughts. Comment to him too, because I think you would really enjoy feedback about this journey that we're on and what it is to be interconnected. All right, thanks for watching.